Hi guys, welcome to this tactical video. This one is aimed at Sisters of Battle players, but could be used basically by anyone with an Imperial faction or whatever. This is basically talking about the Stormbolter upgrade for the Sisters of Battle vehicles. So for instance, adding an extra Stormbolter to your Rhino, or your Immolators, or your Exorcists. Now this is something I see that happens quite often in people's lists. They tend to buy an extra Stormbolter for their Exorcists. As you know, a Stormbolter itself isn't that amazing. It's a decent little weapon, but for 5 points it's not too bad. But putting it on your Exorcist, which is primarily throwing out Strength 8 AP1 missiles at long range and sitting at the backfield, it's not a very useful upgrade. Now of course people are actually taking it to protect that missile launcher on there. So basically they're taking a Stormbolter because it gives you a save of sorts against weapon destroyed results, at which point you'd lose the missiles. Makes sense, yeah? So basically I just kind of want to lay some facts out there using some maths on how the Stormbolter upgrade really isn't worth the points as it is for that purpose alone. Now I'm not saying the Stormbolter isn't good on its own rights, like it is useful in the right kind of place. Personally I wouldn't put it on an Exorcist or an Immolator because it doesn't really mesh well, except maybe the Heavy Bolter Immolator. But putting it on a Rhino, which already has one Stormbolter, so you got double the firepower from it, that's actually pretty decent use of 5 points. So yeah, I'm basically making this video to warn against purely taking a weapon like this, an upgrade like this, for a factor that isn't going to occur very often, and this is basically it. So, for example, let's say you have put it on an Immolator. So you put a Stormbolter on an Immolator. It's an AV11 chassis on three sides and AV10 at the back. So because it's AV11, a weapon has to be at least Strength 6 before it can even pen, at which point the weapon destroyed may occur. Otherwise it's just getting glanced, and you know, so that limits a lot of weapons right off the bat. Okay, so let's just say they fired a Strength 8 hit, because most of the high strength attacks in this game that will be targeting vehicles tend to be about Strength 8. So you got like missile launchers, you got power fists, you got melter of course, you've got lance weapons, you've got the Exorcist itself. Basically Strength 8, you know, battle cannons, that kind of thing. Strength 8 tends to be the kind of standard high strength attack, so we're going to use that as our basis for most of this. Okay, so let's say a Strength 8 shot is going against AV11. Now this could be a side shot on an Exorcist, or it could just be against an Immolator or Rhino. Okay, and you really want to protect that cannon on there, or that gun turret on the Immolator. So straight off the bat, Strength 8 shot needs a 4 to pen. Okay, so that's a 50% chance basically on the pen roll. Okay, now the next thing, of course, it has to get through cover or invulnerable saves. Now I don't know about you, but generally speaking it's pretty easy to get a cover save for a vehicle, and you really should be trying to do this all the time, and it's generally fairly easy against the type of weapons that are going to be attacking the vehicle, because you know where they're going to be coming from, that kind of thing. Although there are situations where you won't get cover, either it's removed or maybe it's a drop pod that's landed behind you and you couldn't prevent it from happening, and so you're not getting a cover save or whatever. But so let's say you're not getting a cover save in this time. Your opponent's done something smart, maybe you've done a mistake or something, you're not getting cover, maybe there's no cover available. But as a Sisters player, of course, you still get your invulnerable save. So let's factor that in. So basically 83% chance now that the penetrating hit will get past your invulnerable save. Okay. So the next thing that has to happen is, for a weapon destroyed to occur, they need to roll a 5 on the vehicle damage chart. If they roll any other result, then your weapon wasn't destroyed and, you know, something else happens. Okay, So that's a very small chance. It's a 16% chance basically on that. And then finally, if this has occurred, then you can use your Stormbolter as basically an extra save, which again, it's randomly allocated which weapon's destroyed basically. So again, you have a 50% chance of the Stormbolter being destroyed. Okay, so if you go down the list like we have, basically what you'll find out is that for a Strength 8 attack against armor value 11, with the Stormbolter there, you're basically only getting a 3.3% chance that the Stormbolter will do anything to help you. There's only a 6.6% chance that they're going to get weapon destroyed in the first place, past all that. And again, this wasn't factoring in cover, and this is only AV11. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a very, very, very small chance to be paying points for. 3.3%, it's really not enough. Okay, now let's just say everything's gone wrong. Okay, let's just say this is the worst case scenario. They're attacking your rear armor, you're getting no cover save, that kind of thing. So, going through the same system again, with the Stormbolter on, you still only have a 4.4% chance of that Stormbolter doing anything. And remember, if it's not saving you, if you're not hitting that 4.4%, that Stormbolter upgrade was useless because you haven't used it for anything else. You've taken it purely for this save, a 4.4% save in the worst case scenario. Okay. Now, if you really want to avoid losing your main weapon, what you have to do is play smart. So basically, what you want to do is try and keep your front armor facing at all times. Where it matters, of course, we're still talking about the Exorcist for now. Make sure you're getting a good cover save, that kind of thing. You know, and that alone will mitigate so much. So that, against the same thing, basically the same thing, going against the armor value 13 whilst you're in a ruin with your vehicle, it's only a 0.7% chance with the Stormbolter of actually losing your main cannon, which is tiny. But even without the Stormbolter, it's only a 1.3% chance. So you're paying 5 points for a 0.7 chance to avoid getting your weapon destroyed. Why? It's such a waste of points, and it's so far down the list of priorities, because otherwise that gun's effectively useless. It'd be much more useful on a Rhino where it could actually do stuff. But even so, it's effectively useless, and it's so far down the list of priorities because before I spent 5 points on this, I would be looking to make sure I had a dozer blade on every single vehicle that could take one. After that, I'd be looking to make sure every single character in my army had melter bombs. After that, if I'm still struggling for points and stuff, I'd make sure every character had either combi weapons, or maybe need Simulacrum Imperialis, or even Loudhailers. All this kind of upgrades, far superior. Then I'd start looking at Rhino Stormbolters before I got to the others. And the thing is, by this point, with the whole army being upgraded like this, by this point, you've probably spent enough points to get an extra squad, which is always a better choice than this anyway. So you'd use those points on that. So that's what I mean. Like, 25 points gets you another priest, and then after that, you can upgrade that priest with melter bombs and combi weapons, etc. Power weapons even. So, this is what I'm saying. It's such a tiny chance of happening. It's really not worth it. And, okay, so some of you may be thinking, okay, what about Melter? You know, it's got the, well, not armor vein, it's got the Melter rule. You know, so it's much more likely to pen. Okay, that is true. However, it's AP1 as well, and as soon as you factor in AP1, then you're actually statistically more likely to just blow up outright on your vehicle than you are to lose the weapon. So again, the Stormbolter didn't do anything. And this is why it's bad. The Stormbolter relies on that tiny chance that you're going to get a weapon destroyed result over anything else. And you are far more likely to die from glancing or from just blowing up outright than you are to getting this weapon destroyed and then having it land on the Stormbolter and not the cannon after all. Because if it lands on the cannon, it's wasted as well. There's so many ways in which this is wasted points, and I see it everywhere. So this is something you kind of want to look at, basically. Are you taking it purely for this save? And this is the reality of this save. It's not worth the points, to be honest. And I haven't even factored into hit rolls in this. You still got to roll to hit, so there's got to be several shots coming through to have this tiny chance. And again, the more hits that are coming through, you're way more likely to just be glanced to death. So again, think about your upgrades. This is kind of like an addition to upgrade efficiency, which I made a video about a while back. You have to really think carefully about where you're spending your points, especially when playing Sisters of Battle, because that's where the main strengths lie, is getting the efficiency out of your upgrades to get that potency in your army. So again, 5 points doesn't seem like a lot for a tiny save, but think about where this Stormbolt is going. Think about what else you get for that 5 points, because trust me, Dozer Blades and Melter Bombs are much better options. So that's basically it for this. Let me know what you think below. If you like this video, remember to click like, and of course subscribe for more videos like this and other types in the near future. Thanks for watching. See you next time.